So you know you need to have better boundaries, but you don't know exactly how to set them in ways that people aren't going to see you as being difficult or unkind or too rigid or selfish. And so you don't end up really setting them at all. And as a result, you often feel overwhelmed, taken for granted, resentful, angry, stressed, anxious, depressed. You're struggling, your relationships are struggling, but you don't know what to do about it. So I've created this series on the 6 different types of healthy boundaries that you need, what they look like, and specifically how to set them. Today, we're going to talk about emotional boundaries, what they are, what they look like, and how to set them. And then in the next videos and the previous ones, we talked about the different categories of boundaries. So make sure that you watch all the videos in this series. It is going to get you well-versed and on your way to having better, healthier, more kind and clear boundaries. But first, if you're new here, welcome to our incredible little corner on the internet. Take a second, introduce yourself in the comment section below. Back again, always good to have you. Special shout out to my shifters. Great to have you here. If you haven't, subscribe to the channel, like the video, both would be amazing. Either way, my name is Kristina, and I am a registered clinical therapist, a researcher, a coach, and the creator of my membership community, the Shift Society, that you can get more information about in the description below. I help heart-centered humans break through the crap that is holding them back so they can like themselves and their lives more every day. Now, here's the thing about boundaries. Most people have the wrong idea about boundaries. They think that boundaries are about changing or controlling someone else's words, choices, or behaviors. But that's just not true. Because we can't control anybody else, we are going to end up becoming even more frustrated if we expect that we have to in order for us to feel differently, in order for us to think differently, in order for us to have differently, in order for anything within us to be dependent completely on someone else being something or someone else that is different than who or what they are. So if healthy boundaries are not about changing someone else, what are they about? They are about our choices within any given circumstance that we need to do to take care of ourselves. Regardless of what someone else is doing, because we can't control them, it is essentially saying it is your choice to act this way, to do these things, to say these things. And in light of that, this is my choice on how I am going to preserve, protect, and take care of myself. When we have that in mind, it's going to change everything on how we are approaching our boundaries and how we are communicating our boundaries. And it's going to make all the difference in having our boundaries met and respected. There's a beautiful quote by Prentice Hemphill that perfectly says it. Boundaries are the space by which I can love you and me simultaneously. And also, the truth is, most people are not intentionally trying to violate your boundaries. They're not intentionally trying to disrupt, to disrespect, or to disturb you. Most people just have a different idea about where boundaries are. They may have a totally different idea about what's okay and what's not okay with them, and then they are just treating you how they would want to be treated. Or they're treating you the way that they think other people just want to be treated, or they're not really thinking about it at all. So when we come at it from that perspective, it makes it much less likely for us to get all upset and heated and lash out at someone when we're setting a boundary, and more likely to take a step back and say, hey, I am just sharing information about my wants, needs, and preferences that they might not be aware of. It can also happen that someone is violating our boundaries, usually unintentionally, because we don't even know where our boundaries are. We haven't taken the time to connect with ourselves, to talk to ourselves, to understand ourselves until It's way too late, and that boundary has been obliterated, and then something doesn't feel right within us, or it feels completely wrong. And we might know that it's because a boundary has been crossed, but maybe we don't even know that. We just know that something doesn't feel right, but we don't even know what to do about it. So we are going to talk today about what it looks like and what to do about it, specifically when it comes to our emotional boundaries. Setting emotional boundaries means either recognizing how much emotional energy you have to give, how much you are available to take in or take on from others, or it looks like how you want to be sharing your feelings, your vulnerabilities, your experiences with others based on what they have the capacity to take on, what they're able to offer you, the space they are able to create for you, and then deciding how much you want to limit based on what someone else is or isn't available for. So essentially, it's about how much you have, how much you can be there for others, or how much others are able to be there for you, and then managing what you share accordingly. Now I'm going to teach you a few specific things that you can say to set boundaries when it comes to our emotional boundaries in these different categories that we've talked about. So the first one, when it comes to our feelings, saying something like, when I share with you my feelings about something important to me or something vulnerable to me, and you belittle me or criticize me or put me down, it makes me feel bad. And it makes me feel like I don't want to share things with you because it doesn't feel safe. I do want to be able to talk to you about stuff, but I need you to treat me with respect when I do. When it comes to setting our emotional capacity boundaries about what we have the energy for, if someone is coming to us with a problem, being able to say, I'm sorry that things are really hard for you right now, but I'm also going through a lot in my own life and don't have the capacity to be there in the way that you need. Can we talk about this another time? And then another example, when it comes to someone asking you a question that you're not comfortable answering, or that you simply just don't want to answer, whatever the reason, contrary to what most of us have been taught, you don't have to answer a question just because someone asked the question. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You can simply say to them, thanks for asking, I'm just not comfortable sharing that information. I hope you understand. Simple as that. Now let's switch gears and look at specifically what emotional boundary violations include. The first one, when someone judges, belittles, or criticizes you for your feelings. The next one, when someone either asks you a question that's clearly inappropriate to the relationship, or when they push a question on you and keep pushing even though that you've said that you're not comfortable answering it. The next one, when someone tells you that your feelings are wrong or that you must justify your feelings to them. Another one is when someone tells you how you should feel or how you shouldn't feel. And then our last one here is when someone is being dumped on emotionally to an extent or to a depth that is inappropriate to the extent or depth of that relationship. And even when it is appropriate that someone might bring bigger emotions to that relationship because it is a deeper, more solid relationship, they're doing it without asking permission or seeing if you are available to be there to support them in their time of need. It can also look like not just them not asking permission, but them putting the responsibility of their emotional well-being onto you by being kind of manipulative or even very manipulative with it. Saying something like, you need to fix this for me. I can't do this. Or if you don't help me, I don't know what I might do. Or you have to help me. Or I don't have anyone. If you can't be there for me, then I will be completely alone in this. Using that guilt and that manipulation to try to get you to take responsibility for their problem, for their emotional well-being, which you are responsible for neither. So being able to set those clear boundaries, like we talked about before, being able to know that it's okay to set emotional boundaries to what you are comfortable with, what you are available for, what you can take on, what you can't take on, what you think, what you want, what you need, what you feel, all of it are appropriate for you to be setting clear, kind, and healthy boundaries around. If you need some help with this, I've got 2 things for you. My simple steps to self-trust is going to really help you get to know yourself better about what is okay with you and what's not okay with you, and be able to build that solid relationship with yourself so that you feel comfortable taking care of yourself. When we don't feel very good about ourselves, when we don't have a good relationship with ourselves, it doesn't really occur to us that it is okay to take good care of ourselves, to be acknowledging, respecting, setting, and sticking to those healthy boundaries. Why would I set a boundary with someone that I don't even really feel that good about, that I don't think that highly of? Why would I set a boundary to take care of someone that I don't feel that good about, have a good relationship with, respect all that much? I'm talking about ourselves here. So building that healthy relationship with yourself is essential. The simple steps to self-trust is going to help you build that foundation and get you well on your way with that one. And then also, if you just want some simple, clear, and kind ways to say no, plain and simple, 25 healthy ways to say no, free resource in the description. Click the link and you can get your hands on that right away. Simple steps to self-trust, 25 healthy ways to say no. Let me know in the description below, or in the comment section below rather, which one of these connected with you? Which one of these are like, oh, I didn't know that that was okay. Or, oh, I have been letting this slide for way too long. Or, oh, it is time that I respect myself in this way by setting this clear and healthy boundary. Let me know below. It is always good to have you here. If you haven't already liked the video, if you got something out of it, that would be amazing. Don't forget to be good to yourself. Be good to those around you. And until next time, take good care.